Hey, what's up, guys? Toogie here, back again with another episode of my Toronto Blue Jays franchise mode right here on MLB The Show 18. You already know the deal. In today's episode, we look to hopefully finish up the regular season. No promises, because this might end up being a very busy trade deadline day for us if we continue to have some players struggle. As you get a look at the standings, we're only 2.5 games back of the Red Sox, but we have a lot of question marks. Making the playoffs isn't necessarily enough if we want to hit our contract goal, which of course is the goal. I mean, at the very least, hitting our yearly goal would be nice. I want to try and win the pennant. Are we capable of doing so? Probably not, but damn it, we are going to try. So we really need someone like Marcus Stroman to get back into a groove of not being average. I mean, he is an 83, so it's not exactly fair to expect him to be an ace, but it is fair to expect him to not post an above 4.0 ERA. Henderson Alvarez has actually been pretty good. Dinelson Lamet has been all right. Again, I'd like to see an ERA number drop. And Chad Kuhl and Michael Yanoa have been hot garbage. Really, hot garbage, I think, is a fair way to describe it. Aaron Sanchez has been great. He'll be back from injuries sooner rather than later. And for the most part, the bullpen has been pretty solid. Felipe Rivera is probably the most frustrating player, but of course I got no plans on getting rid of him. I expect him to be able to turn it around, and at the very least with guys like Doolittle in hand, if I had to move Rivera, I could get something great back for him. And lineup-wise, of course, someone like Josh Harrison's been quite disappointing. Randall Grichuk as well. I mean, 7 home runs and 30 RBIs are nice. I'd like to see something a little bit better out of him. So we do have a couple of question marks moving forward, but we are going to give these players some time to sort it out. So there should be a lot of simming in this episode, and that's going to start off right now. This 4-game series against the 26-win Rays, so I'd expect at least 2 out of 4. 3 out of 4 is certainly the goal. And we lose DJ LeMahieu for a month or two to a broken forearm in the first game of the episode. Oh boy. It might be that kind of day and episode. We lose DJ LeMahieu. That's brutal. We do take 3 out of 4 against Tampa, though, after dropping that first game. Oh, boy, our big free agent signing is out to injury. That does put Solarte in the lineup, which is nice because he's been great this season coming off the bench. But now, for sure, someone like a Josh Harrison is going to have to step up. Everybody has to step up with one of our key players down to injury. Anderson Tejada is the guy at the game elected to call up, which I am okay with. And yes, Tim Tebow's in AAA. I love it. Of course, I gave the AI control of the call-ups and the send-downs, just for the sake of double in AAA. Maybe getting some of our prospects into a more well-suited spot for them. We're playing the 30-win Orioles next, and we lose 2 out of 3. Not ideal. 3 games against Atlanta. They're off to a decent start. 36 wins on the season. We will take 2 out of 3. LeMahieu is still out, of course. So not a bad start, I guess. 3 games here against Miami. 26 wins on the year. Louis Bichette's back from injury. And Jeff Arnold in Double-A breaks his forearm, and he's out for 2 to 3 months. Good Lord. We do sweep Miami, though, so that's good. But this game is really hurting us right now, injury-wise. Not the ideal scenario to be in. Where are we in the standings? We are actually tied, though, with Boston for the top record in the AL East. They do have 2 games at hand, though. As you can see, we have one more win and 1 more loss. So we have played 2 more games than the Red Sox, so I expect that to sort itself back out. 3 games here against the 40-win Phillies. 2 out of 3 is the goal, and that is exactly what we get. Tampa's offering a trade. Johnny French for Matt Duffy. Duffy is not terrible. Wow, he's actually having a really good season. How good's Johnny French? He's B potential, isn't he? 20 years old, B potential, and 67. I don't know if I want to give up Johnny French. The 63 durability is concerning. That's actually an interesting trade. I feel like I could use Johnny French as as a part of a bigger deal. Matt Duffy is not terrible, though. How has Harrison done lately? He's up to a 228 average, still not ideal. Solarte, still killing it in the lineup full time. I feel like I could add Harrison, or I could do this deal and then trade Harrison. I feel like that wouldn't be a bad way to go, necessarily, and we'd also free up a ton of money getting rid of Harrison. Duffy has a decent contract to him, but nothing too crazy. Of course, Harrison's nice to have because he's so versatile, but so is Solarte for that matter. I mean, with Harrison not exactly getting it done at the plate this season, I could either give him a little bit more time to recover, or I could make this move here for Duffy. Not that I like trading within the division, but if I do give up Johnny French, that might not cost us, at least for a couple of years. You know what? I think I'm going to take this. I don't often like AI, the deals that the AIs offer. I'm all right with this. That 294 average, 9 home runs, 53 RBI. I'm okay with that. Let's do it. I'll actually take that. Johnny French, we will see you later, buddy. Duffy's here, and we are going to get rid of Harrison to make sure that both Duffy and Solarte can play full time. So Harrison, I'm sorry, it just hasn't worked out. And is there anybody that I can add to this deal? And I just remembered, I forgot to show you guys something, and some of you are still probably freaking out about it. Don't worry. You might know if you looked at the comment section of the last episode what I think some people might be freaking out about. What could we look to do here? Is there anybody else worth trading? Peralta's been fine. Let's see, anything else? And right, Polanco's been okay. Grichuk has turned it around big time this episode. So see, there's the difference. Someone like Randall turned it around, where Harrison, not so much. Although a little bit more outfield depth might not be the worst thing in the world. I mean, once Darryl Bryan's back in a couple of weeks, though, he's still a good option to have there. And I don't know if I'd exactly want to send him down. Steve Pearce is also still there. You know what? A little bit more outfield depth might be a good way to go. Let's see who we can find. So somebody below the 78 overall of Randall Grichuk. So let's see who we could find. Again, I prefer to look within the NL so we don't have to deal with this too much. David Dahl, again, a little bit too good. Someone like Matt Adams makes way too much money. I don't know who the hell I'm going to find here. Hopefully it doesn't take too long, though. Hunter Renfroe. How's he doing? 218. No, thank you. Anybody else? There's got to be that perfect match, right? There has to be. Matt Kemp. No, thank you. Tyler Goodell. 235. There's got to be some. I still can't believe Benintendi was traded to the Rockies, by the way, in this run. That's ridiculous. I am absolutely questioning the Red Sox decision-making. Yasmani Tomas is okay with the platoon role as well. He's having a pretty good season. I'd say he's the favorite right now. To be honest, that might just be who I want to get. They would want a little bit more back, which is a little bit surprising. Let's see here. The clutch, the discipline, the vision, it's all a little bit low. But he could be a really interesting player to get into the lineup. He's doing really well. He's already hit more home runs this season than last season. Although, I mean, he missed time last year too. Despite the higher durability, he missed playing time last year. But I do like how versatile he is. He's my go-to right now. Wow, the Cardinals' outfield situation's horrible. He's my go-to right now, but there's no guarantees of me going for him. Corey Ray, playing down in AAA. Left field. It's got to be somebody, but right now Tomas is the favorite. Scott Schebler. Love that name. He's having a great year. I like the power. I like the versatility. 12 home runs. Ooh. And there we go. We wouldn't have to give up anything in that too. I think I'm liking that one too. High durability, the vision and discipline's higher. He's got the power. He's a great pinch hitting option too. I think he's my new favorite. Mainly because, like I mentioned, I wouldn't have to give anything up. How's Pilar done? Of course Pilar is batting 264 this season. Of course you are. The second I get rid of you, you start playing better. That's going to be a common theme, I'm sure, throughout this entire series. Is if I get rid of someone, look for them to have a career resurgence. And yeah, I think we have a deal in the works here with the Reds. Unless Carlos Gonzalez, 307. All right, so I'd say it comes down to Carlos Gonzalez, which I'm not afraid to pay the extra money. I mean, he's a veteran. I do like that discipline rating, too. I'm surprised he's hitting 307. Would mainly be used against righties, I'd say. So we have Gonzalez. Again, better against righties. Or we go to the Reds with Scott Schebler. Schiebler? I'm going to go with Schebler. Good power. I like the power bat. I'm sorry. Is there anybody that we can add to this deal who is half decent. Let's actually go from the other way. Is there anybody here that I'm interested in? Hunter Green. Yeah, it's not going to work, obviously. Stevenson? How much would I have to give to get Stevenson? Probably a lot. What if we give up Reese McGuire and Pentecost? Hello. Bringing in Tyler Stevenson's a pretty good deal. So we give up Max Pentecost and Nick Rickles. So Harrison, McGuire, and Pentecost for Schebler and Stevenson. Absolutely. And I will just go out and sign another catcher. Yeah, we only have 6. I'm going to go out and sign another catcher. And then we're golden. I really like that trade. Maybe I'm just fooling myself. Who knows? But I really like that trade. Nick Hundley? 1 year at 560. Are you down for that? You are. Beautiful. So we'll bring in Nick Hundley. And there we go. Our first big move of the episode. I want to see, actually, what the lineup's looking like. It's going to send somebody down for us. 4 games, actually, against Oakland. Another beginning of the week 4-game series. Trent Beal down in AAA is out for a week or two. As we take 3 out of 4 against Oakland. That's promising. Lineup-wise. So Matt Duffy's now in at DH, which is where Harrison was playing. Solarte's at second. Miea, I believe is how I was told to pronounce it. Still down at catcher. So, yeah, Schebler's there. Pierce, Lino, and Morales. I like it. I like that we have some power options coming off the bench now. What I was going to show you, draft pick-wise, I forgot to sign Vasquez in the last episode. Not only did I sign him, I also signed Rodriguez and McGrath just for the hell of it. I wasn't going to sign him, but screw it. We'll give him a chance. Why not? So, yeah, if you were worried about that, I mentioned it in the comment section in the last video, but in case you missed it, I did sign them. I think what we're going to do, it might cost us games, though. Noah and Chad Kuhl are still struggling to a brutal extent, and I'm still not very happy with Marcus Stroman. Lamet, Alvarez, and Sanchez have been great, though. Rosenthal has been okay. Givens has been great. Hendricks has been okay. Rivero's okay. Doolittle and Hand have been great. So I'm a little bit worried about Felipe Rivero, and actually, he's back down to an 87. So because he's underperforming and he's not the closer, he is back down to an 87, whereas someone like Brad Hand is just excelling at this point. So I still don't think I'm that interested in trading Rivero, but it is an option. I mean, we could do a 1-for-1 and bring in, I could trade him for somebody great, I'm assuming, and then just trade a prospect to bring in another reliever. That's possible. I could bring back Edwards Jr., that is. I'm still very worried about the starting rotation, though. Like I said, Chad Kuhl and Michael Yanoa are definitely not getting it done. We have a built-in replacement in Joe Biagini, who's actually the closer down in AAA and is killing it. Oh, my God. He's doing wonderfully. So he could easily be the long reliever. We could trade Yanoa and Kuhl and look to bring in starters who are actually performing. Both are now 26 and above, so they're not going to get much better anyway. You know what? That's always the question of when is too soon to make a move. We're in first place, but I'm going to make a move. I don't want to wait until the All-Star game and, say like, oh, well, if I had moved them sooner, maybe we would have won a few more games, a few more starts. So let's see what we can do. I need to look to move both of them to bring in 2 starters. And I also need to bring in a backup long reliever as opposed to someone like Zach Eflin, who we could call up and put into that role. That might be worth looking for. Jesus, he's there's the 5 pitches that caught me off guard. All right, let's see. Yeah, Biagini will be the long reliever, so I just need to bring in 2 starters. And I'm not sure who that's going to be. If I go MLB ready on these 2, I doubt that I get a 2-for-2. I'm going to have to look around the league. That's fine. So, starters. Again, I did this I did this in the last episode as well, where we had to cut out a decent amount. You know what? I'm going to do the same thing. Let's make a jump cut. I will try to find a trade for these 2. All right, guys, we're back, and I have identified arguably the 4 best targets that we could go for to fix, or hopefully fix, our starting pitching issues. The first being Alex Wood of the LA Dodgers. Is on the last year of his contract. He's had 2 very good seasons. If you look at his career history, holy hell. But this season he is doing incredibly well. From there, we get a little bit optimistic. I'll show you the lesser of the optimism routes, I suppose. Put it this way, we have 2 realistic acquisitions, which includes Wood and Drew Pomeranz, who has had, again, great success in the past few seasons. Not as much work this year, though. Only 58 innings pitched thus far, which does have me concerned. I'd consider him more of a high-risk pick. But from there, I mean, if we don't go for Pomeranz, if we wanted to go for Wood, the other guy to go after would be Walker Buehler, also from the Dodgers, but he would be quite expensive, so I'm willing to take the risk with Pomeranz. From there, I mean, Jameson, I believe it's Talon. If I'm wrong there, I'm sorry, but he's an absolute monster, and what in addition he would be. The question there, of course, would be Price, and the other option, of course, with Price would be Noah Syndergaard, who's a goddamn robot. So those would be the options. For Syndergaard, I can't imagine there's a trade that I'd be able to work out for him. I just wanted to throw his name out there as a possibility, I suppose. Like, even if I throw in Rivero, like, you see how much more I would have to give. It's a lot. I mean, I might possibly maybe be able to pull this off. It looks like they're more interested in Inoa than Cool. I don't see how this would even happen. I really don't. Henry Murillo, who we just acquired. What if I even take out Inoa and say I were to add Diego Liriano? Like, yeah, it's not going to happen for Noah Syndergaard. That's not a surprise. Jameson Talon, though, there might be a better chance. I mean, he's cheap as hell right now. Like, right there, for example, we take that offer every day of the week, with the exception of it being Brad Hand. So at least I know it's possible. So if I can get him and probably Pomeranz, I might go with Wood just because of the higher overall. Pomeranz has a 2.80 ERA over the past 2 seasons. Wood is at a 2.92. So Jameson Talon might be the best option here. What if I add in Cool and Inoa? Oh my god, yeah, this is going to happen no problem. He's much cheaper than I would have thought. And that would take the pressure as well off of Stroman to be our ace, which I think is what he needs right now more than anything. So how much would it take? I don't necessarily want to give up both of them in this deal, but I could. Kevin Biggio? Not quite enough. I mean, there's going to be like one kind of minor player here that I'd have to give up to make this happen. Val Medina, just not enough. I'm willing to give him up in this deal, though. Who could it be? Who's that one player? You know what? If I offer from here, okay, apparently nothing. What if I take out? Who do they value a little bit more? I look to value them about the same. What about Chad Cool? Cool and Polanco? Absolutely not. What about Inoa? With Rosenthal and Rivero? Jesus Christ! What the hell happened? All of a sudden, we're asking for a lot more, aren't we? What the hell happened? They were asking for so little before. Let's go ahead and add Medina back to the deal. I can't remember who else was in the deal, though. It was Austin Meadows. I mean, who's looking promising, but I'm okay with giving him up. Sure, Peralta's 31, but we have some other options. Armenteros there as well. Meadows isn't too bad. I'm all right with giving him up here. So say it's Medina, Meadows, and Chad Cool. There we go. All right, so yeah, we can still work this out. It's just going to take someone the caliber of an Austin Meadows to pull off this trade. And this is why I don't often go off of what the AI is looking for, and I normally look for trades on my own because, sometimes they try to rob you blind a little bit. Yeah, Austin Meadows, I think you're out of here, buddy. I might even be able to keep Medina off of this. Oh yeah, by far. Jesus, man, what else? Hold on. I could probably take out Inoa out of this and pull this off. Let's go Val Medina, and let's go for Gonzalez. Randy Karofsky. I mean, that works for me. We give up Austin Meadows to bring in Jameson Talon, who is just fucking killing it this season. Yeah, that's not even a question. We are absolutely doing that. And from there, I mean, it was funny that it showed Richards there. From there, I mean, honestly, I'm just going to revisit this really quickly. I mean, we might, maybe, possibly, somehow be able to work that out. Probably not. That would take an A potential player for sure. Which, if we're looking at our A potential players, even Calero's not enough. Luis Alonso isn't going to be enough. Yeah, we're still a little bit too far out of our price range there, which isn't surprising. I would love to be able to pick him up as a free agent, though, next summer. That would be great. So the question is, from there, do we look to make a deal for Pomeranz or Wood. And again, Wood at an 85. The clutch rating concerns me a little bit. Well-rounded, though. In terms of the per nines, only ones in the 70s. If we look at Pomeranz, 150 for walks. Again, Pomeranz has been the slightly better pitcher. A little bit more of a risk, though. Lesser body of work this season. So I think I'm leaning towards picking up Alex Wood. So, and to do that, I mean, it's not going to be all that difficult. I might just send both of them out to the Dodgers and look to take back a prospect. I feel like that's a good way to do it instead of splitting up these trades. So we'll see who we can get here. It would be hilarious to also end up with Walker Buehler, but obviously that's not going to happen. Who do you have prospect-wise? Yadier Alvarez? All right, so Alvarez works, 23B and a 72. Similar type of player to Meadows, who we just gave up, although starting pitching, obviously not an outfielder. Verdugo. A little bit worse than Meadows, but could be an in-house replacement. Santana, 22A and a 68. Shit, I'd have to give up a lot more. I feel like I might go for Verdugo. He's more of an outfield first option, though. Keibert Ruiz, 20B and a 68. That is incredibly promising. Not that we necessarily need a catcher, but that's a very, very good outlook for him. Yeah, you know what? I think he's going to be my target here. I mean, we don't really have a good I mean, we do just, we did just add Stevenson, so we do have him. We don't exactly need a catcher, though, with Miea on this team now, though. So, I got to be honest. I think I'm still leaning towards the outfield option in Verdugo. I think that's going to be the way to go. So, let's take out the catcher in Ruiz. I am going to have to add a C potential guy to this, which isn't a very big deal. Richard Ahn, is he enough? Yes, he is. So Chad Kuhl, Michael Yanoa, and Richard Ahn out to the Dodgers for Alex Wood and Alex Verdugo. Let's do it. We have our starting pitching additions. I also am going to want to bring in an outfielder or two as a depth option. Let's see. So we have 3, 4, 5. Yeah, let's bring in a couple. Let's bring in one of each. Jose, I don't even have to bring in the worst option. I'm so used to the Draft to Glory run where I'm bringing in the worst options. Let's bring in 35-year-old Denard Span. Why not? At center, let's bring in... Man, even John Jay is looking for a shitload of money, huh? I guess we'll go highest overall. Robertson, 4 years. Aducci, 4 years. Sweeney, 5 years. Oh my god, what is... do you guys not want to play at all? Is that the deal? Let's bring in Nelson Cruz on a shit contract just because it's funny. And we'll bring back Curtis Granderson. So there we go. We'll get a little bit of that outfield depth back. And I did not mean to hit play game. And the good thing is it didn't go through. Let's sim our first game against Houston. We lose Sean Doolittle to injury, but we win the game 6-5. What's this team look like now? So it's Jamison Talon, Marcus Stroman, Aaron Sanchez, Alex Wood, and Dinelson Lamet with Henderson Alvarez as the bullpen option, to be honest. I mean, I didn't need to bring in 2. I wanted to bring in 2. It's a tough question, though, does someone like Alvarez deserve a full-time spot? And really, he does. I mean, from here, though, I gotta be honest, the thought of maybe pairing 2 for 1 and getting a big-time starting pitching upgrade, I don't know, like a Syndergaard, it could happen. Let's just, for the hell of it, let's see what this looks like, all right? And like I said, I'm sorry if Wheeling and Dealing isn't like your favorite kind of franchise mode series. I get it. But that's a part of the challenge, in my opinion, of having to go for it in year 1. So say someone like a Stroman. And from there, I mean, we have Alvarez and Lamet, both of whom are doing very well this season. Alvarez is a couple years older. Lamet is an 81 by default. Alvarez is also an 81. I mean, we could pull that off. Looks like Alvarez has a little bit more value. So, I mean, I could easily upgrade to get Noah Syndergaard. We send Stroman out to the Mets, so that way we wouldn't have to deal with them all that much. How much more would it take? It would still take a little bit, though, huh? Right. I feel like it would be possible, though, is my point. So, we'll see. If any starting pitchers slip up, we have the option now to go out and make another big move. We just beat Houston 12-10, and we swept Houston as we enter July. Great way to start. 2-game series here, actually, against the Mets and Syndergaard. Denard Span's out for a few days, and we win 5-1. So maybe Syndergaard isn't the guy to go after. We actually took both games against the Mets. We are on fire as of late. Alex Wood gets a win in his first start here. And of course, the bullpen picking up some wins as well. 4-game series against the 34-win Kansas City Royals. You would hope that we'd be able to win the majority here. We split the first 2 games. Oakland's offering a trade. Chris Davis, 81 overall, hitting .279 this season. He's looking good. I am going to decline this, though. I don't feel like that's a major need for us at the moment. That might change. And Eric Pardinho is out for 2 to 3 months. Padres can kick rocks. We split that 4-game series against Kansas City. 3 games against Boston just before the All-Star break. This is huge. Alvarez versus Porcello, Talon and Sale, Sanchez and Price. This is going to be big for us. We lose game 1. We lose game 2. I know we have some minor league All-Stars. I'm not that impressed. And we just got swept by Boston still. They continue to be such a thorn in our side. 4 runs over 3 games. The offense gets completely shut down. All 3 starters pick up an L, of course. Damn. 3 games here against Seattle, 43 wins on the year for them. Can we win the majority? We have already lost this series. Good Lord. So rather than entering the All-Star break, we don't have a home run derby participant. Rather than entering the All-Star break on a high note, we lose 5 out of 6 after going on a great winning streak. We are, though, still in first place. Not by much. We've played 2 more games than the Red Sox. So surprise, surprise. That they are basically on course to be the number 1 team in the division yet again. But from there, it's a massive gap. The Orioles, Yankees, and Rays are just about out of it. They do have time to dig themselves out of this. But overall, I mean, are we the number 1 team in baseball right now? We are not. We are very much not. The Dodgers at 68 wins. But we have the 2nd best record in baseball at the All-Star break. Not too bad. I want to see, of course, we're going to have 1 nominee at least. I want to see, though, if we have any other All-Stars. Do we have multiple All-Stars on the team this year? Alex Wood, kind of by default, has made the All-Star game. Michael Givens, also an All-Star this season. And Brad Hand. So we have 3 representatives just pitching-wise, which is tremendous. And as far as the starting lineup, nobody there. Brian Dozier, though, made the All-Star game. He went back to the Twins, actually. So an interesting note there. Do we have anybody on the bench? Not that I've noticed. So 3 pitching representatives. Not that bad. Let's get a look at some stats, though, here quickly. And I did see as well that we have, I mean, batting-wise, Vlad Jr., .317 average on the season. He's been great. But I did notice it was primarily pitching-wise that we had some league leaders, including the wins leader, Aaron Sanchez, tied with James Paxton of the Mariners with 12 wins this year. And the saves leader right now is Brad Hand with 35, Alex Claudio with 33 for Texas. So we went out to improve pitching, and that has absolutely been the case so far this year. I am still so worried about Stroman. And actually, Henderson Alvarez is back in over Lamet. I feel like we're going to have to choose between one of those 2. Or we keep both and just deal Stroman. And I'm sorry, I want to keep Stroman, but it's kind of unacceptable how bad of a season he's having. And he wasn't great last year either. He's just been okay. And I feel like we have to make that move. Givens has been great. Hendricks is back to okay. Biagini's actually been called up. Biagini, I never remember. Wow, the game sent down Felipe Rivero. That's interesting. And I can see why. He has really struggled this year. Especially compared to everybody else, he has struggled. And Biagini, 15 innings of work, a 1.0 whip. He's been great. He's proven he can be the long reliever so far. So, yeah, we have a choice. We can move Stroman. And you know what? I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to look to move Stroman and shockingly Rivero, but we never would have guessed that Doolittle and Hand would have been available. We're going to look to bring in a reliever and potentially somebody else who's just been tremendous. So I'm not quite sure. Kenley Jansen, Jesus, 31. Maybe he's amazing, but that contract, you know? And as it is, I would still have to offer them more. That's crazy. I'm not surprised. The question is, though, do I want to bring in another amazing bullpen option or just call up someone like a Carlos Ramirez, who is pretty much major league ready? I don't necessarily have to bring in another reliever. It would be nice for a little bit of depth, but we already have a ton of depth there. So you know what? Let's actually take a look lineup-wise. Is there anybody who's really struggling? Alex Verdugo has actually been getting time at the major league level, which is surprising. Schebler was sent down. That is incredibly surprising. So I'm shocked to see that. Are we dealing with injury? We are dealing with injury, aren't we? Thompson's out. LeMahieu. We're actually not dealing with a major injury. He's just in the lineup as a DH. So, I mean, at center, he's in at center. That moves Grichuk over to DH. Okay, that makes sense at least. Who's struggling, if anybody? I mean, Verdugo's been fine so far. Junior's killing it. Peralta's doing well. Smoke's doing well. I'm all right with Polanco. Solarte, again, I didn't plan on starting him. He's only in because of the injury, but he's been great. Grichuk at a 232. I'm not really upset with anybody, though. But we have the ability here. Like I said, if I wanted to improve one of these positions in a major way, we have Matt Duffy on the bench. Pierce has been fine as a pinch hitting option. Lino not so much, and Morales has been great. I feel like the team's in a really good spot. It's just, what do we do here with these two, in particular? Because again, I don't feel like we're getting the most out of Lamet, having him be the long reliever, although, the whip's okay, but who knows how long he's been there. Stroman, I'd rather get value for him now. So, yeah, it's just, what do we look to do here? Move Stroman. Move Rivero, since he's been struggling to a ridiculous extent. I mean, again, Rosenthal's at a 1.42. Rivero at the major league level, as far as a whip, is a 1.72, and that is a pretty drastic difference. I want to take, 3 blown saves, 16 holds, 0.3 wins above replacement. The Ks per 9, though, is higher than it's been at any point, but he's allowing way more walks. That's been the key. His control has failed him this season. So, I don't know. God damn. So, again, there really isn't any position that we really need to look to upgrade. We could, but it would be looking for an upgrade for the sake of looking for an upgrade, right? I mean, if we were to improve any position, you could argue maybe go out and get an improvement at first just because, Smoke's 32. I mean, shortstop-wise, Tulo, he's doing okay. I mean, we could obviously look for an improvement there as well. That might actually be the smart move. Look for an improvement at shortstop. Maybe package Tulowitzki and bring in a big-time improvement there. Again, I'm worried about Smoke, but he still should have another 2 years left or so where he can at least be productive. So if we look to move Rivero, just because, he's been struggling. I want to trust him, though, because he was so good last year. Right? He was so good last year. So maybe we just move Stroman. We have Henderson Alvarez and Lamet in the top 5, in the rotation. We give Rivero another chance, Biagini as the long reliever, and move Tulowitzki and try to bring in a big-time shortstop. That might be the way to go. I want to stay loyal to Tulo, though, because he was so great for us in the postseason last year. By far our best player. Jesus, Fernando Tatis. That's close. He wouldn't be ready yet, but boy, would he be ready for the future. And a move for the future isn't the worst thing. So, you know what? That's a possibility. Corey Seager, obviously not going to happen. Heckavaria, god damn it. It's a heck of a deal you got there. I'm sorry, that was awful. Trevor Story might be possible. Hitting 255 this season. So I'm a little bit worried about that. A little bit worried about his vision at the plate, though, but he's got great power. Paul DeYoung's also going to be an option I know I'm going to want to look at. 274. Oh, I could bring in Paul DeYoung. If anyone's watched me play this on stream, you know my love of Paul DeYoung. So DeYoung's also an option. Orlando Arcia, only hitting 230 this year, and they'd want more for him anyway. I'd rather go for Tatis and just kind of wait it out. Addison Russell, not that great of a hitter. J.P. Crawford, same thing. Rosario. Nationals looking to move Trey Turner, perhaps? Hitting 292 this season. Wow, so we could get Trey Turner as well. That's not bad. I like the vision. The discipline's a bit low, but the clutch is very nice. Only 58 durability, though. I'd be very worried about him getting injured. And then Dansby Swanson, where I'd have to give up a little bit more, but that's also a possibility. And then obviously someone like Correa. I wouldn't want to make this major move within the AL. Even though Stroman's struggling, I wouldn't want him to turn it around and cost us in the playoffs. So Swanson, that's a possibility, really. And by the way, with Stroman as well, last year, actually he's got 1 year left. But even if he turns it around, he's going to want way more money than I'm willing to sign him for. That's the one thing I wanted to check. Swanson, hitting .271, 6 home runs, 40 RBIs. It's not terrible, obviously. Trey Turner, hitting .292, and would be an immediate replacement. Again, the thought of bringing in Tatis Jr. would be amazing, but we're looking for that improvement right now. And still, with someone like a Trey Turner, we'd be ready to go for this season. Crawford, what's he hitting? .260. Russell, .246. Peraza, 7 home runs, 26 RBIs there. Arcia. I mean, really, Paul DeJong, the vision, the discipline, it's that 69 durability that's killing me there. I mean, it's not terrible. Turner at a 58. I don't think any of our great hitting options at shortstop are going to have great durability. Well, in fairness, Trevor Story does. Hitting .255, 15 home runs. The vision, the clutch are somewhat of a concern. Or we look to bring in the youth. Which, I mean, he could be ready this season. The game could very well decide, yeah, let's give him a chance now. I mean, he's batting .293 for the Padres right now. He has played with them this season. I mean, obviously, that feels like the best option for the present and the future. He's a 69 overall, which is nice, of course. I mean, Stroman and Tulo, that frees up a ton of money, by the way. Not that we need it. We have plenty of money available right now. But we bring in Fernando Tatis Jr. for now, and especially for the future. And even if he's not ready this year, Vlad Jr., Duffy, LeMahieu, Solarte. Solarte can fill in at shortstop for this season if needed. We have infield depth. I don't think that's going to cost us that much. Like I said, bringing in someone like a Trevor Story, I mean, he's 26. He's going to be looking for a big-time deal next season, I would imagine. He's already making 8.2. Paul DeJong, definitely not a bad option. Great at the plate. Oh, man. Again, so I like DeJong. I like Story. I like Trey Turner. Dansby Swanson as well. Although, what's he going to cap out at? Probably an 84, 85 at best. What could Tatis get to? So we have Swanson, Turner, which again, Turner would give us a great threat on the base paths, which is something we do not have. And that's, of course, something that DeJong or Story don't exactly bring that to the team either. Neither does Tatis. Oh, boy. I think I have to go for Tatis, don't I? It would just be one other person, right? Actually, it might be a little bit more. It doesn't look like that much more value. What do they need? Starting pitching. I can help you out there. I mean, I'm already helping you out with Stroman. What about Grayson Long? There we go. That's all it would take. I'd actually try to see who's the worst guy I could add to this. Who's a C potential. Pardinho is injured. Miguel Estrella. Stroman, Tulowitzki, and Estrella for Fernando Tatis Jr. Let me see what else. Like for Trevor Story, I'd have to give up more than that. Not much more, but I would. That would work for Paul DeJong. If anything, I could take out the starting pitcher, not Stroman, obviously. With Trey Turner, that would work. And with Dansby Swanson, it would not. So Trey Turner, again, .292 average. I hate it. I hate it so much. It's the clutch, though. It's that durability. It really is that durability. Trevor Story hitting .255. Tatis is hitting .293. I'm doing it. Fernando Tatis Jr., welcome. Stroman, I'm sorry. Tulo, I'm sorry. At least you get to live in a nice place. You won't be going to the playoffs with us, though. I'm sorry, but it had to be done. The rotation is set. We only have players who have earned it so far. I mean, Lamet and Alvarez I'm a little bit concerned, but between Talon, Sanchez, and Wood, we're looking amazing. Biagini again, or Biagini as the long reliever. And we will, of course, be calling up Rivero. No doubt about that. He'll be back on this team. And hopefully he can turn it around moving forward. He's been rough this season. We still have a little bit of time, but I'm going to give him the opportunity. At worst, he ruins his chance to be the guy for us in the postseason that we turn to. But lineup-wise, I'm happy with what we have. It's a little bit of a risk going to Tatis, but again, when we have LeMahieu at 100%, if he struggles, bam, we put LeMahieu at second, Solarte at short, and we're good to go. And we have Tatis as a future option. So I'm really liking this team so far. I mean, we've made some big moves, of course. Duffy's in addition, Peralta, Polanco, Miella, Tatis Jr., and I mean, pitching-wise, I've made quite a few moves. Talon, Wood, signing Alvarez, trading for Dinelson Lamet, acquiring, our bullpen in general. I've done a lot of work with this team, but I feel like we're in a very good spot to accomplish what we're looking to accomplish. With the second-best team in baseball, I have a feeling this could be a good season for us, but time will tell, especially when we already look to be on a collision course with the Red Sox, who just wiped the floor with us in the previous week. But we are, of course, still dealing with some injuries. LeMahieu is still going to be out for another week or two once he's back from the DL. But aside from that, we're looking good. So that'll do it for this one. I told you I had a feeling we might not get to the rest of the season. The next episode, we will get through the rest of the regular season. So it might be a slightly shorter episode. And from there, we're well on our way to the playoffs. And we'll see how that works out for us. So let me know what you think as far as the moves that I made and what moves could potentially be made at this point, or do you think we're good to go? Like I said, my only question mark right now, I have a little bit of faith in Alvarez and Lamet. Maybe I shouldn't, but I feel like we're still good. But I suppose the big question is Rivero. Do you guys think he's going to turn it around, or should we maybe look to move him out? Does he deserve a little bit of a break because of how good he was last season? To make no mistake, he was amazing last year. He almost broke K-Rod's single-season save record. Only problem is we brought in Brad Hand, who is an absolute monster. And, of course, Sean Doolittle as well. But, our bullpen's ridiculous. And then lineup-wise, the addition today of Matt Duffy and now Fernando Tatis. What do you guys think? Are we looking good? And Alex Verdugo, also on this team as well. Didn't expect to pick him up, but, hey, Austin Meadows had to go. And Verdugo could very well be a good enough replacement, really. So let me know what you think. And, I already forgot about Schebler because he's down in AAA. Schebler was added. Tyler Stevenson was added. I really feel like I've done a decent job of setting this team up for the now, but also for the future. We should be competitive year in and year out at this rate. And if we continue to draft relatively well, that'll continue to be the trend. But anyway, I'm rambling at this point. Thank you for watching. You know what you can do to support the video and the channel. Every YouTuber tells you. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Yeah, notification bell as well. Also, links are in the description of my Twitter and Twitch. Would appreciate it if you give me a follow on both of those platforms. And for now, I will say, have a good one. Take it easy. I love you all, and goodbye.